But maybe Dr. Mike Licona and Dr. Gary Habermas and Dr. William Lane Craig and Dr. Michael Brown are all biased in favor of Jesus' existence because they're Christians. Maybe they're incapable of being balanced and neutral, unlike the impartial and open-minded internet atheists who spend all their time moaning and wailing about religion on Twitter. Well, let's see what Dr. Bart Ehrman says when a Jesus myther tries to educate him.
I know in the crowds you all run around with, it's commonly thought that Jesus did not exist. Let me tell you, once you get outside of your conclave, there's nobody this is not even an issue for scholars of antiquity. It is not an issue for scholars. There is no scholar in any college or university in the Western world who teaches classics, ancient history, New Testament, early Christianity, any related field who doubts that Jesus existed.
Don't you just love that condescending tone? I know that in that little wheel of delusion you guys are running on, it's common to deny Jesus' existence. But once you get off that wheel, no one agrees with you. But why, Dr. Ehrman? Why is there a consensus on Jesus' existence?
The reason for thinking Jesus existed is because he is abundantly attested in early sources. That's why. And I give the details in my book. Early and independent sources indicate that certainly that Jesus existed. One author that we know about knew Jesus' brother and knew Jesus' closest disciple, Peter. He's an eyewitness to both Jesus' closest disciple and his brother.
That sounds exactly like what Christian scholars say. But if experts across the board, conservative Christian scholars, liberal Christian scholars, atheist scholars, agnostic scholars, Jewish scholars, if experts across the board agree that Jesus' existence is not in dispute, what should we think of the atheists who tell us that, based on their careful research on YouTube, they've concluded that Jesus never existed?
I think that atheists have done themselves a disservice by jumping on the bandwagon of mythicism, because, frankly, it makes you look foolish to the outside world. If that's what you're going to believe, you just look foolish. You are much better off going with historical evidence and arguing historically.
Someone call the burn unit. At the scholarly level, Jesus mythers are as rare as they are angry and biased. But since the internet is home to every insane theory under the sun, you're bound to run into Jesus mythers on various websites and platforms. They're going to challenge you to prove that Jesus existed. And if you accept the challenge, they're going to play skeptic while you present your evidence. I encourage you not to take the bait until you first show them the problem with their methodology. And it's very easy to show them the problem with their methodology. When a Jesus myther sends you a message and says, "Prove to me that Jesus exists," simply reply, "I'd be happy to prove to you that Jesus exists, but I don't want to present my evidence to a person who may not exist. So before I start giving you evidence, first prove to me that you exist." Then sit back and play skeptic. Whatever evidence the person gives for his own existence, just tell him that it's not enough and that you're not convinced. Offer alternative explanations of the evidence he's presenting. Say, "Maybe I'm hallucinating. Maybe I'm on drugs and I don't remember taking them. Maybe I'm the only thing that exists and I've invented you as a character to keep myself entertained. Maybe I'm just a brain in a vat and a mad scientist is sending me signals to make me think that you exist. Maybe I'm in the Matrix. Prove to me that I'm not in the Matrix. Prove it, prove it, prove it." Once your atheist friend fails miserably, once he realizes that when you adopt his methodology, he can't even convince you of his own existence, perhaps he'll start looking for a better methodology. And once he adopts a better methodology, you'll have no problem convincing him that Jesus existed, because only a complete fool would reject the existence of Jesus of Nazareth.